Hello, core community, and welcome to your next core session. I'm here with Michelle Ashby of Tipping Point Communications.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me here. Thanks for inviting us all in to your space. This is
Thank you.
fantastic. Yeah, love it. Love the energy here at Tipping Point Communications, which is one of the reasons I wanted to share Michelle Ashby with you so that you could learn from her leadership points that has made her a success and how she feels she's the best leader that she can be for her people. Love it. And so Tipping Point Communications really is your go-to place for media buying, digital marketing, public relations, and research. And Michelle started Tipping Point Communications 13 years ago and is going strong in our community. She also, the community of Tipping Point is pouring into our own Rochester community by being involved with the Willow Domestic Violence Center here in Rochester, New York, Habitat for Humanity for Buffalo and Rochester, and the Roland Williams Champion Academy. So you know that this is a company that actually cares about the people in the community as well, which you know is important as a leader. So Michelle, again, thank you for having me here. And I just, for me, when I first came here a few months ago, and I did a focus group here, I loved the energy that was happening here at Tipping Point Communications, and that was one of the ideas that I thought of. I wanted to get in front of you to find out what it is that builds a culture for your employees, that your employees feel very much comfortable here, excited to be working here. And I know there were two gals that took a leadership course with me from here, and they said, we love working there because Michelle is so open to hearing our ideas. And they just loved that you left that open for them and that you used their ideas. So really good kudos for you. So tell me, because I want to hear from leaders like you that care about their employees, tell me a little bit about your leadership, what you feel your strengths are. And
Yeah, I think over the years, the one skill that I've developed is just this idea of being flexible. And how do I bring flexibility into what I do every day? Whether it's running a meeting or seeing a client, making recommendations, meeting with team members, if I can always keep an open mind that there is probably another way to do whatever it is I have in my head, there probably is a better way or a different way or a more interesting way. I think that that's really what's made this place special, because I'm not the one with all the ideas. Really, this is all about what can this team do together? What can they do individually? And what kind of magic can we create for our clients?
yeah, so you mentioned earlier you're a collaborator, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's what you're speaking to right now. So were you always a collaborator? Was this something that from day one this has been you, or is it something you have cultivated in yourself over time?
Yeah, I've always been the type of person who brings people together, whether it was in school, I was always the one organizing things. I was always the person who would try to get old friends back together. But when I think about how it shows up at work, I try to put organizations together with either the right solution or the right person. If it's somebody who I'm mentoring on trying to find a job, I'm always matchmaking them with where do I think one of my contacts could benefit from having this person join their team. So it shows up in a lot of ways. I'm a expert matchmaker for love and romance.
Hey, that's cool.
I've set up so many friends.
Yeah.
Had some nice marriages out of the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just who I am. I just
Yes.
bring people together, and I like to find ways for people to work together.
Yeah. That I was just having a conversation this week with a friend of mine who is also she's a connector. She's like, I see myself as I connect people with jobs, with houses, with it's just what I do. And what's funny is you're bringing that up is we both said, man, we should figure out a way to make money doing this, right?
You can.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's cool. I find that interesting that that's coming up yet again. So I have to ask you then, you said if you're mentoring someone, are you talking about mentoring someone within the walls of Tipping Point, like your employees, and then finding a place for them, matching them with a place to go to work for? Or are you saying more, tell me about your mentorship. What did you mean by that?
There's two ways I see it. I do a lot of informational interviews that people who aren't necessarily trying to get a job at Tipping Point, but they may be looking for me to connect them with someone else in the industry, or they haven't quite figured out what they're going to be great at someday. So they want to just brainstorm ideas on what careers are out there, what different opportunities have they not thought of. And so I'll introduce them to people that based on what I'm reading in an interview with them, I would match them up with. But as it pertains to what happens here, I'll give you an example. Real life, this is what's happening right now here at Tipping Point. So my business partner, I just bought her business, her share of the business out, and she's been running pretty much everything in terms of operations of the media, buying, and public relations side of our company. So rather than coming in and saying, okay, I'm in charge now, I'm going to put this person here, I want to structure it this way, I think that we should change this, do that. What I did was I spent really the first 2 days after the announcement meeting with every single person individually and asking them where do they see themselves in the next 3 years and how can I help them get there. And what do they like about what they're doing right now? What's driving them nuts? And then just settling with that information for a while, and it's like playing a chess game. Like what can I do with this opportunity to sort of restart? It's a rebirth of Tipping Point right now. And where do they go?
Right.
You know?
Right, and so that just loops it right back into what you said earlier about you being a collaborator, is that you're speaking to your employees and saying, okay, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What does this look like? What do you think this could look like? And making the best picture of moving Tipping Point forward, knowing that you're not the ultimate, you're not just, that's it, it's my idea, and that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, so Cor, I want you to hear that. That's really important. Just take this point. As a leader, as you being an emerging leader, so important for you to understand that as a leader, it's not a positional, right? It's not just a positional leader. You have to be leading people through influence. And you influence them by asking them questions, gaining their ideas, working collaboratively with them, because guess what? They're going to follow you. They're going to follow you when they know that you care about them and their opinions. And what they can add to the table. So that's really, really important. I love that.
And sometimes they know more about what is happening in the industry from what they're doing every day. Because I'm off doing different things, networking with people, trying to bring more business into this company. They're the feet on the street. They're the ones who are actually collaborating with media vendors and meeting with sales reps and hearing what's new. So I'm not always going to be the one who can prescribe where we're going. If I don't listen to where they think we should be going, I'm going to be missing a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. So I want to pull one more point too from what you said earlier, is you gained all this information from your team, and then you said, and then I just went and sat with it for a little while. That's important too, isn't it? Just to make sure that you give yourself that headspace to, it's almost like, I almost want to call it like I've been getting into meditation. It's like making sure that I am not just jumping and doing, because as entrepreneurs, don't we get that idea and it's like, bam, let's go for it, right? Sometimes we don't take the time to just sit and really think about it. I call it thinking into your business. Thinking about it, meditating on it, saying, is this the right, and kind of getting that feeling that, okay, this is the right move.
Right.
So is that kind of what you were talking about?
That's exactly what I was talking about. I was actually going to bring that up. The biggest change for me in my leadership style has been yoga and meditation.
Great.
Because not only does it slow my mind down, but it also relaxes every piece of you, right? And when you come into an office and you're all balled up, the way that vibrates through the company, everybody feels it. They feel your energy every day that you show up. So coming in with a zen,
Yeah.
you know, certainly helps. That also helps with sleep.
Yes.
But yeah, I think adding those two elements to my life has really changed the
huge.
type of leader I am.
I love that. Yeah. Right. So that's a great place to wrap up, because I think that right there, those 2 points of collaborating and listening to your team, but also huge, the meditation piece, the yoga, making sure you're centered and you're aware, right? You're nice and
Right.
clear to be aware of what's the next step forward. And trusting that, right?
Yeah.
Trusting that part when you're meditating, that the answer is going to come, everything's going to be okay.
It is.
Yeah, we're all going to move forward. And, you know, I'll just share with you Melissa Geska from US Sealing. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but I interviewed her. Everyone check Melissa Geska's interview as well in CORE. I can't remember the month, but we also talked about being present. And she is big on meditation as well. So there's something to know here about meditation,
Yes.
folks. So I want to just thank you for inviting us in again and sharing just those few little points with us, because they're rich, right? They're going to move somebody forward in hearing this from you. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Maria.
Yeah.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, CORE community, and we'll see you back next month.